Can you help me choose the correct sentence here? When she arrived, the match started. Or should I say, when she arrived, the match had already started. Using the simple past versus the past perfect can be confusing, but that was before this video. In today's video, I will explain the difference between them, and you will get to practice as I prepared a short quiz for you. After that, I will also explain the difference between the past perfect, had done, and the past perfect continuous, had been doing. So, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like this. And thank you so much for your support. So, let's go back to our sentences. Both sentences are correct, but there's a difference in meaning. When she arrived, the match started. It means, if this is my present, and we're talking about the past, she arrived, then the match started. So these actions happened one after another, and they follow a chronological order. The second one, however, means that she arrived late. When she arrived, the second action, so this is my arrived. When she arrived, the second action, that is the game starting, the match starting, had already started. So she missed parts of it. Let's practice. Choose the simple past or the past perfect. I had finished my homework, then I went to bed. Good. The correct answer is finished. Here we use the simple past tense as it describes a completed action and not necessarily that happened before. We have here then. So everything is in the right order, right? So I finished my homework, then I went to bed. 2. She ate already dinner. She had already eaten dinner when I called her. Good. She had already eaten. The action of eaten happened before the calling, okay? So she had already eaten dinner before I called her. 3. He had visited his grandparents every summer when he was a child. He visited. Now here, you might say why? We're going to use the simple past tense as it describes a repeated action, that is visiting his grandparents, in the past, and we're not referring to any action that happened before it or after. We're just describing a habit in the past. 4. After Fred had spent his holiday in Italy, he had wanted to learn Italian. Good. So he wanted after that, right? Last question before we move on. I had been very tired because I had studied too much. Good. We started with action B. I had studied too much, so this happened before. So I understand that now I'm talking about the second action, so I'm going to use a simple past. I was tired because before it, I had studied too much. You see, it's not that difficult. So, whenever you're using the simple past and the past perfect, you need to think about the relationship and the chronological order of these actions. Did action A happen before B? Or did they simply happen one after the other and I'm telling a story? Okay? The past perfect, and it's used to show that one event happened before another in the past, and usually this creates some kind of disruption. For example, by the time I arrived, he had already left. And here, when a native speaker uses it, it means that was not the plan. I was hoping to be able to catch him and talk to him. All right, now how about the past perfect and the past perfect continuous? It's not getting harder, it's getting easier because I'm explaining it to you. Can you help me finish this sentence? By the time I arrived, they had worked or they had been working for 6 hours. Which one should I use here? Good. We should say they had been working. The past perfect continuous tense, or progressive, is used to describe ongoing actions or states that started in the past and continued up to a specific point in the past. It expresses duration or repetition of an action before another past action. Okay, so this is always the case with the continuous form. We have an action that is ongoing. The formula to the past perfect progressive is subject plus had plus been plus ing form of the verb. So let's say, by the time she arrived, right? This is our simple past. Something happened before. They had been waiting for 2 hours. So they started waiting before she arrived and continued waiting until she arrived. Okay? Let me give you another example. He had been practicing the piano for years. He had been practicing before he gave his first concert. His first concert is here, is a simple past action. And we want to talk about another event that happened in the past, but this was not a completed event. It was an ongoing event. He had been practicing. Does that make sense? I know it does. Let's choose the past perfect or the past perfect continuous. I hadn't heard, hadn't been hearing about the book you mentioned. Hadn't heard, right? This is not a repeated action. It's like I heard of the book or not. I know. It's like no here. Next, I was delighted when I found my keys. I had been looked for them for hours. Yes, you have 3 options to choose from. Good. Had been looking for them for hours, and an ongoing repeated action before I found them. Had been looking. Good, one more. I had been trying to contact him for ages, but he never replied. Good. I had been trying to contact him for ages. This is our keyword. for ages shows me that this action was ongoing for a while. Good. One last question. By the time the bell rang, had been ringing, I finished, had finished, had been finishing. Good. So what we need to say is by the time, so here I have one past action, the bell rang, I had finished. Finishing is not an ongoing action in this case, right? I finished my exam, so I had finished. Good, well done. Thanks for watching today's video. By the way, what should I cover next? What do you find difficult? Also, if you would like to keep on practicing and learn the difference between the present perfect and the present perfect continuous, then you may want to watch this video. It's going to be the same. I explain and then quiz and then learned. Thank you for all your support. You guys have been just amazing.